Welcome to this technical instruction video on managing clients, creating client contracts, and understanding contracts. In today's business world, effective client management is crucial for success. This involves dealing with clients in a professional manner and creating a clear agreement that outlines the terms of the work to be done. In this video, we will guide you through the process of managing clients effectively, creating a client contract and understanding its contents. Managing clients. To manage clients effectively, you need to establish clear communication channels that allow you to understand their requirements and expectations. You can achieve this by keeping an open line of communication with your clients at all times. This means actively listening to their requests and responding promptly with any necessary feedback. Another important aspect of client management is being organized. Keep track of your conversations with your clients in a centralized location that is easily accessible. This will help you stay on top of tasks such as deadlines, milestones, and deliverables. It is also important to manage expectations from the outset. Be clear about what you can deliver and when you can deliver it. This will not only help avoid misunderstandings but also build trust with your clients. Creating a client contract. A client contract is a legally binding agreement between you and your client that outlines the terms of the work to be done. It typically includes information such as project scope, timelines, payment terms, and other relevant details. To create a successful client contract, start by outlining the project scope in detail. Make sure all parties involved understand exactly what work needs to be done and what is expected from each party. Next, establish clear timelines for project milestones and final delivery dates. Be realistic about time frames but also ensure they are achievable. Payment terms should also be clearly outlined in the contract. Include information such as payment amounts, due dates, and any late payment fees or penalties. Finally, make sure both parties sign the contract before work begins. This ensures everyone involved agrees to the terms and protects both parties should any issues arise. Understanding a contract. Understanding the contents of a contract is crucial to ensuring you comply with the terms and conditions set out in it. Here are some key elements to pay attention to when reviewing a contract. 1. Project scope. This outlines exactly what work needs to be done and what your responsibilities are. 2. Timelines. Ensure you understand when key milestones need to be completed and when final delivery is expected. 3. Payment terms. Understand the payment amounts, due dates, and any associated late fees or penalties. 4. Termination clause. Familiarize yourself with the conditions under which either party can terminate the contract. 5. Confidentiality clause. Make sure you understand any confidentiality agreements that may be included in the contract. 6. Intellectual property rights. Understand who owns the intellectual property rights for any work completed under the contract. 7. Dispute resolution. Make note of any dispute resolution processes outlined in the contract should any issues arise. Signing, terminating, and managing contracts are essential components of any business deal. Not only do they help establish mutual agreements and expectations between parties, but they also ensure that each party is held accountable for their respective roles and responsibilities. In this technical instruction video, we will go over a step-by-step guide on how to sign a contract, terminate a contract, and manage a contract. How to sign a contract. Step 1. Review the contract before signing any contract. It is essential to read through the entire document thoroughly. This helps you understand the terms and conditions of the agreement and ensures that you are not agreeing to anything you don't fully comprehend. Step 2. Negotiate the terms. If there are any clauses or terms in the contract that you are not comfortable with or require clarification on, it is essential to raise them with the other party. This allows both parties to come to an agreement on any discrepancies before signing the contract. Step 3. Sign and date. Once all terms have been agreed upon, both parties should sign and date the document. This validates the agreement between both parties. Step 4. Make copies. Make sure that both parties have a copy of the final signed document for their records. How to terminate a contract. Step 1. Review termination clause. Before terminating any contract, it is important to review the termination clause outlined in the initial agreement. The termination clause should specify when either party can terminate the agreement and what consequences may arise from such termination. Step 2. Notify other party. If either party wants to terminate the agreement, they must provide written notice to the other party. The notice should include specific reasons for termination as well as a proposed timeline for resolution of outstanding matters. Step 3. Discuss resolution options. Both parties should discuss potential resolution options before terminating any agreement. This can include renegotiation of specific clauses or mutually agreeable compensation arrangements. Step 4. Terminate the contract. If the contract cannot be resolved, it can be terminated according to the terms of the termination clause. How to manage a contract. Step 1. Establish roles and responsibilities. To effectively manage a contract, it is important to establish clear roles and responsibilities for all parties involved. This helps ensure that everyone is aware of their specific obligations and can be held accountable for their actions. Step 2. Monitor progress. Regularly monitor progress against agreed-upon timelines and milestones. This helps identify any potential issues or delays that can impact the overall success of the contract. Step 3. Maintain communication. Maintaining open communication with all parties involved in the agreement is essential for effective management. This helps ensure that everyone is aware of any updates or changes and allows for prompt resolution of any issues that arise. Step 4. Evaluate performance. Once the contract has been completed, evaluate performance against initial goals and objectives. This helps identify areas where improvements can be made for future contracts. Drafting, negotiating, and reviewing contracts are essential skills for any business professional. Contracts are legally binding agreements between two or more parties that define expectations, obligations, and rights of each party involved. These documents help to establish clear communication and prevent misunderstandings, as well as provide legal protection in case of disputes. This instructional video will guide you through the process of drafting, negotiating, and reviewing a contract in a professional manner. Drafting a contract. The first step in drafting a contract is to identify the parties involved and clearly define their roles and responsibilities. This should include a detailed description of the goods or services being provided, payment terms, and any other relevant details. When drafting a contract, it is important to use clear language that avoids ambiguity or confusion. The document should be organized logically, with headings and subheadings that make it easy to navigate. It is also important to include all necessary legal language and clauses, such as limitation of liability provisions, confidentiality agreements, and dispute resolution mechanisms. When drafting a contract, be sure to keep in mind the specific needs of your organization. Consider consulting with an attorney familiar with the relevant laws and regulations in your industry to ensure that your contract is legally sound. Negotiating a contract. Once drafted, the next step is negotiating the terms of the contract with the other party or parties involved. This involves discussing specific clauses and making revisions as needed. During negotiations, it is important to remain professional at all times. Be prepared to compromise on certain terms while standing firm on others. It is also important to listen actively to what the other party has to say and seek common ground wherever possible. Be sure to document all changes made during negotiations in writing to avoid misunderstandings down the line. Once both parties have agreed upon all terms, be sure to have all parties sign the final version of the contract before moving forward with implementation. Reviewing a contract. Finally, before signing any contract, it is essential to carefully review the document to ensure that all terms are clear and reasonable. This involves examining all parts of the contract, including any attachments or exhibits, and checking for errors or inconsistencies. When reviewing a contract, it is important to pay particular attention to any deadlines, payment terms, and dispute resolution mechanisms. Be sure that these provisions are clear and unambiguous. If you have any concerns about the contract, be sure to raise them with the other party before signing. Consider consulting with an attorney or other legal professional if you have any questions or doubts about the document. Welcome to this technical instruction video where we will be discussing how to effectively manage contracts and clients. In this video, you will learn about the best practices for using contract templates, creating audit plans, preparing for contract audits, conducting contract audits, setting client deadlines and expectations, establishing boundaries with clients, and dealing with difficult clients. Using a contract template. When it comes to managing contracts, using a contract template can save you time and effort. A contract template is a pre-designed document that outlines the terms and conditions of an agreement between two parties. When using a contract template, you can easily modify it to meet your specific needs without having to start from scratch. Creating an audit plan for a contract. An audit plan is an important step in managing contracts. It outlines the objectives of the audit, the scope of the audit, the procedures that will be used during the audit, and the timeline for completion. When creating an audit plan for a contract, it is important to consider all aspects of the agreement, including deliverables, timelines, payments, and any other relevant factors. Preparing for a contract audit. Before conducting a contract audit, it is essential to prepare adequately. This includes reviewing all relevant documents related to the agreement, such as invoices, receipts, and correspondence between parties. Additionally, it is important to ensure that all parties involved in the agreement are aware of the upcoming audit. Conducting contract audits. Contract audits are conducted to ensure compliance with contractual obligations. During an audit, it is important to follow established procedures outlined in your audit plan. The auditor should review all documentation related to the agreement thoroughly and accurately. Any discrepancies or violations should be reported immediately. Setting client deadlines. Setting client deadlines is an essential part of managing contracts effectively. By setting deadlines early on in the process, you can ensure that deliverables are completed on time and within budget. It's also essential to prioritize deliverables based on their importance so that deadlines can be set accordingly. Establishing boundaries with clients. Establishing boundaries with clients is an essential part of managing contracts. It is important to communicate clearly and honestly with clients about what you can and cannot do. Setting boundaries helps to manage expectations and prevent misunderstandings. Additionally, it's essential to respect your own time and resources by not overcommitting or accepting unreasonable requests. Dealing with difficult clients. Dealing with difficult clients is often a challenge in contract management. It's important to remain professional, respect the client's feedback, and remain flexible when possible. It's also helpful to establish clear communication channels and set realistic expectations from the beginning. Setting client expectations. Setting client expectations is an essential part of managing contracts effectively. This includes outlining deliverables, timelines, costs, and any other relevant factors at the beginning of the agreement. Clearly setting expectations helps to avoid misunderstandings and establishes a solid foundation for a successful relationship. Choosing the right clients. Choosing the right clients is critical in managing contracts effectively. Before entering into an agreement, it's important to consider factors such as compatibility, experience, communication style, and values. By carefully selecting clients that align with your business goals and values, you can set yourself up for long-term success. In conclusion, effective contract management requires careful planning at every step of the process. From using contract templates to choosing the right clients, there are many considerations involved in successfully managing contracts. By following these best practices for contract management, you can ensure that agreements are completed on time and within budget while maintaining positive relationships with clients.